your mind. You think March 30th, 2008 was the last day that Ric Flair was capable of dying? No, thank God. Retired, it's you and me. Woo! 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 Recognize this? Yeah. Huh? Woo! 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 Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Woo! 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 Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Woo! 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 Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Woo! 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 Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Hulk Hogan! Woo!
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I know you keep laughing at the theme song for the JackAsh podcast, and if you notice, we're actually just going to call it the JackAsh podcast. That's JACK capital ASH, not Jackass, even though it's a couple of jackasses who are actually doing this podcast.
Yep.
Instead of, what was the original name? Actually,
Actually, in the Shades of the Shooter. It
Yeah.
sounded like a fucking daytime talk show, and I didn't like it, so...
Yeah, so we're just going to call it the JackAsh podcast. Has a nice little ring to it. Later on in the program, we got a special guest, Gallow's favorite person in the whole wide world, and no, we're not talking about the money. We're talking about...
Ricky Richards, the little fucker.
So, Gallow, you said earlier, you said, do we really get to call him a special guest, or is it just an average guest?
I think he's a special ed guest.
Oh, I see what you did there, good
I
sir.
did. I made a play on words there, because I'm fucking intelligent.
So once again, we have no idea what we're going to talk about. We're just going to fill up an hour of us babbling on about something. We'll figure it out
Probably be fun.
as we go along, because
Yeah.
it's fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I did there?
You're a smart little clever
I'm a
bastard.
smart little Jew. So, I don't know. You want to jump in? I don't even know. I mean, last time we did a podcast was in October, so God knows what we were talking
a lot
about
has
then.
happened differently. I don't know what's going on. Well, I mean, I've been working for a lot more different companies lately.
So that's a good start. Let's start with there. So what have you been doing?
Well, I just signed up. I got a lot of shows coming up with Fighting Spirit Wrestling. I went down to the Chavo Guerrero seminar, which is real cool. Learned a lot from him.
Good.
Yep, I got that coming up, Fighting Spirit. And then we got Federated Wrestling, which is going to be having their first official show on May 4th, which is going to be combined with the PWS Super Show. So anybody who wants to go to a wrestling show, that is a fucking good show to go to. That has names from top to bottom, PWS, and obviously we got the Federated Wrestling, which has a lot of names from Ring of Honor there too, as well as looks like me and Joey Ace.
Sweet deal.
So anytime I can kick Joey Ace's ass, it's a good deal.
Nice. You and Joey are good friends, I take it.
Yeah, no, I love Joey Ace, but I like beating him up more. He knows that. So
Who wouldn't like punching Joey in the face?
Yep.
Just kidding. I love you.
I love you, Joey.
RyanLovesJoey.com/gaysex. So before we bring Ricky on, which we will in probably about 20 minutes or something like that, we'll just have his Gus from Cinderella looking ass sit there for a little bit.
His fucking stupid ass. Oh, by the way, if anyone gets Ricky's number, this is his answer. His fucking voicemail.
Hey, it's me, Ricky. I'm not here right now. Leave a message. Ring of Honor.
Is that legit his voicemail?
Well, without the Ring of Honor, yeah, that's exactly what it fucking sounds like. So if you ever hear me do that, that's just me making
I think
fun
we
of
should
Ricky.
call Ricky and make sure it goes to his voicemail in this program, just so we can compare your.
You want to give his number out on the air?
No, I don't know if we should do that, but we will give out Money's number on the air if anybody has it. You can either email us, or you can Facebook us. Gallow has still yet to make a Twitter because he's a little bitch.
I'm making one.
So anybody can get in contact with us. We would love to get Money's number.
I really need Money's number.
Yeah, we're going to refrain from saying his full name. You just kind of have to know who he is.
Yeah.
However, there will be videos soon coming out that will have him in it because recently I worked an SWA show.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pre-show for FTW, as Ricky's now showing me his number back there. Which is great because we have his email account as well. This is excellent. We might have to put that out there. But yeah, recently I was working at S. Oh, he's got is it a new number? I'm assuming it's a new number because the number I have doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
So let me actually, before I tell the SWA story, let me see.
Yeah, this is how much money. Money is a very unique human being that we're not exactly.
You
very
know what?
fond of.
It's the same number. He probably just blocked my number from calling in.
Yeah, same here.
Same way that he blocked us on Facebook because he's a little bitch.
Yep.
And
And he looks like.
yeah,
He looks like
but yeah. So I was working SWA pre-show for FTW. Last week actually, Ricky was there. Ricky, I'll let him tell the story, but Ricky had fans doing something similar to him. As I'm gonna tell you about this story. But so I was there. I was working Chris Caden. First time me and Caden ever worked together. We broke kayfabe afterwards because we were taking pictures together and everything like that, and I was putting them out there on Twitter, on Facebook, and everything like that. CJ Antonino was in some of those photos, and you could just see his nipples, which is a nice little thing if you want to see CJ's nipples. They're out there in Facebook land. And so working Caden, which apparently we had WrestleMania as one of the matches, and I guess not from a work stand rate though, just from a time stand rate, because me and Caden, first of all, me and Caden were told to go 15 minutes. So we went out there, and from what I'm told, we went more something like 17, 18 minutes. But from my mind, and I'm usually good with this, I honestly think it was right around 15 minutes. We didn't do anything special, and you'll see, because me and Caden literally took the first 7 minutes of the match and worked around locking up, and me complaining that he was pulling my hair and an arm wringer.
Fun wrestle.
Yes, we treated it as, let's just have fun and wrestle. This is the first time. We'll build off of it later. Yeah. So whole time we're doing this, I keep hearing this fucking fat bastard Money running his mouth. Oh, and with insults. So they cut so deep. They cut so deep to me because the biggest insult he can throw at me is, you're supposed to do things that you're good at, so why are you in a wrestling ring? That hurt my soul.
My name is the Money, and I don't think that you're very good in the ring.
Hurt my soul. It hurt. It hurt a lot.
He's not good at having sex because he can't.
Not unless he's fucking that thing.
I'm not convinced. He was a 29-year-old virgin. Try to fucking figure that out. How do you live without having sex when you're 29?
Well, speaking of 29-year-old virgins, what happened was he just kept going on and on and on and on the whole show, which, if anything, actually helped me, because then people were tagging in. And they were getting on me, and they got me over. So I was the biggest heel that pre-show, because the fans just fucking hated my guts. And I don't give a shit if it's X-Pac heat or not. It's heat.
Heat is heat, yeah. And any worker that has made it anywhere says that too.
So after the match, I went up to him, and I didn't know what I was gonna say. I just kind of walked up and let it, the chips fall where they will. And I looked at him. I told the whole crowd his first and last name, his real name, and told them all that he was a virgin until he was 29 years old. But if he wants to act like a tough guy, he can come meet me in the parking lot. I'll be out there in 5 minutes. So as I turned my back, now keep in mind, this is all on video, so I'm not going to sit here and try to lie, especially when I'm going to post the video. This is what happened. Yeah. After I turned my back, I'm turning around to go walk out back through the entrance and whatnot. Homeboy takes a swing at me. After I turn my back. Not while I'm still looking at him and I'm a foot away from him. No, he wants to take a cheap shot because he's a bitch. Yep. And then, whatnot. So I turn back around because I kind of see it at the corner of my eye, and homeboy's fat ass is almost spilling over the guardrail. So I look at it, and I'm laughing inside of my head. So as I'm walking out, I said something to the crowd, and it got a pretty decent reaction from at least that section that actually heard me. I was like, oh, he's just mad because his girlfriend looks like she has Down syndrome. # true story. So little known fact, though, I did go to the parking lot after that. And I was waiting for him.
And there was no taco meat.
And there was no taco meat to be found. He didn't show up. And I know this for a fact because Ricky went out match after me and said that Money was sitting there marking out for Ricky because he's a mark, basically. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Cannot wait for Money to show up again at one of these FTW SWA shows, so that I can reveal my newest gimmick on what I'm gonna do. I have been sitting there thinking about it. What can I possibly do that will make this man more angry at me than he already is? And keep in mind, I do not know why he's really angry at me, because it was you who was throwing water bottles at his face, not me. If anything, I was yelling at you, stop doing that. That's fucked up.
And then he doesn't like you.
And he doesn't like me, and I don't know why.
Let me put something out there. The reason I really don't like Money at this point is because you can ask Ricky later on. When me and Ashley broke in and started really making a name for ourselves, to the certain degree. I'm not saying that we're gods, but we got into the indie scene and we're doing what we're doing. We kind of want to give everybody else a chance, and we always had everyone's back, whether it be Ricky, who kind of came through us, and Trevor, Little T, Damon Knight. A lot of guys, we were friends with. We helped to get them to the next level. Money is one of the guys who we tried to help out, and I was legit his friend for a while. He just completely screwed us over at one point. He said he was going to be at a show, didn't show up, and just kind of gave us the big middle finger after everything we did for him. So if this fucking guy wants to do that, I can go ahead and tell him, listen, you smelly fuck, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and smelly he is. Fucking himself, though, he is not, because he's a virgin.
Nope.
So that's the moral of the story. Don't fuck with me, because I'm going to turn it into a gimmick, and it's going to piss you off, and I will not say what the gimmick's going to be. It's just going to be a thing of beauty, though. Guaranteed to make him really want to take another swing at me. Maybe he'll have the balls this time to actually do it while I'm looking at him.
And then you can film.
And this is the other best part. I forgot to mention. As I'm walking out, and I guess he picks himself back up off the barricade or whatnot, he screams at me something to the extent of, "I heard the podcast, you asshole." So somehow the podcast and a link to it made its way all the way back to Money. Because he blocked most of us on Facebook, even other friends and whatnot. I think he's still friends with Ricky, so maybe that's where he saw it. Because Ricky and him don't actually have any beef, which, Ricky, you should get up on that. But, so he heard the podcast the last time, which is brilliant, because it means he was listening. And as he's listening, he's probably sitting there, "These motherfuckers, they're making fun of me because I got an extra 3 rows of teeth and shit, and I can't believe this, and because I shave off my widow's peak because I'm embarrassed of it, and because I wear Under Armour to bars so it'll, hide my fat that's underneath my button-down shirt." And these are true stories. This is all the shit that...
He really does wear like a singlet out, so it
really,
conceals
he fucking
his
does. He really does that. He really shaves his fucking widow's peak off his head, which is so stupid because you could still see the fucking outline of it. So now it just looks like he's got like fucking a triangle stubble on his head. He's got the stupidest tattoo I've ever fucking seen. It's like a dollar sign and a fucking and like a Superman logo, but it's not even clever looking. It's like literally like a 5-year-old drew
he
it.
took a shit on his arm.
He's just a fucking he motherfucker looks like Watto. End of story.
I mean, the best. It's like this. Most people, they dream, the American dream, having the white picket fence and the nice house. Except Money just has a white picket fence in his mouth.
Yes, he does.
He does.
He's one step ahead of the guest of the American dream.
He was born with it.
He's telling everybody, #get on my level. So we're gonna bring Ricky on in about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Before that, I actually want something I wanted to jump in on.
Okay, go ahead.
So you're gonna be pissed off.
Your podcast too.
Yeah, it is. I guess this is something that really pisses me off. I really hate people in the wrestling business who will complain and bitch and cry about where they're not getting somewhere because they're good at one thing, but they don't try to excel on the other things that you're supposed to. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, even myself, when I start getting better at one thing, let's say it's being good in the ring, being good on the mic, or having a good character, right? Those are the 3 things, let's say. If I start getting good at one thing and I get really good at one thing, I want to get better at the next thing. That's what being a superstar, professional wrestler is being well-rounded, being the total package, being marketable on every degree, and that's what you should aspire to be. There's way too many people who are pretty damn good in the ring, but then they have a shitty look, and they don't understand, I don't know why I'm not going anywhere. I'm great, excellent in the ring. It's like, great, you're excellent in the ring, but how are you going to market your shitty fucking body? Or it's like, okay, you're great in the ring, you have a good look, but you're not good on the mic. Is it really that hard to go in front of your mirror and just start cutting promos in front of your fucking mirror? Go up to a vet who's good at it and say, hey, listen, can you help me with this? Can you help me get better on the mic? Watch a fucking movie and see how an actor does it. And then on top of that, if you don't have a good fucking character, it's like, well, okay, why don't you start doing what Stone Cold did? What did Stone Cold do? The most successful characters of all time. He got it from a movie. He saw a guy and he was cold. He's like, I love that. He's so fucking cold, and he's like a serial killer, and he just had no emotion. And that's how he got the idea for the Stone Cold character. It just really pissed me off because I've been hearing it from. I'm not gonna name any names, but there's a lot of people who will hear it from. It's like, listen, the best thing you can do in professional wrestling is try to get better every single day at anything. It could be the littlest things. There's a reason why Shawn Michaels went from, being great as he was, his last match had a completely different style than it was in the 90s, and he was still went out like the best.
Yeah.
So it's just the idea is, even if you're great at one thing, where you're great at everything, try to get better.
Yeah. Well,
That's the moral of my story.
yeah, when we bring on our guest, Shawn Michaels was probably a pretty shitty worker because he didn't work at ROH.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Ricky has a really big fucking hard-on for Ring of Honor.
He's got a man crush. If ROH was a guy, Ricky would be first in line to have
Just
anal
stick
sex
it in
with
its
him.
ass, yeah.
And we'll get to hear more from Ricky later on in about 6-7 minutes when we bring him on.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting there patiently waiting for us to fuck with him more. He's smiling, big stupid fucking shit, eating grin on his face. I never understood that shit eating grin. Why would somebody smile if they were eating shit?
And why would they know what shit tastes like?
Yeah, it's one way or the other. But Ricky ROH and
Ring of Honor.
Ricky though is brilliant because Ricky told me recently what he wants to do with his tights.
By the way, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
His fucking tights are ugly as fuck. If you've ever seen them, it's these like
we'll put up a photo of it.
These bright orange.
They're Mets colors.
Like on the sides, it looks like the Mets colors, except the Mets like puked up what they ate the night before. It is just the grossest looking shit ever. It just has Richards on the back. Ugly tights, but go ahead.
Ricky likes them, I guess.
I'm sure he does.
So yeah, but no, he told me about what he wants to do next, which is brilliant. But I'll let him say what he's gonna do. Ricky's a mark that wrestles, but we love him because Ricky does try his hardest.
And you see, Ricky is a guy who, and this is all a shoot. Ricky is a guy who literally went from nothing, and then took himself and got really good. And he keeps trying to excel. He's a guy who hits me up all the time. He'll hit up Logan Black from Warriors. He'll hit up whoever he can who will listen to him. And just
not many people want to.
Well, not many people want to. But if you look at Ricky's first match and look at his matches now in the ring, he's really excelled to a different degree. Now he's recently had his heel turn, and he's really starting to grasp what it is to be a heel, and he's working at it more and more. He's gotten better on the mic.
So what you're saying is people should be on the lookout for Ricky.
Yeah, people should definitely be on the lookout for Ricky because he keeps wanting to get better, and if you keep aspiring to get better and you keep getting better, what's going to stop you from getting to the top?
He had a sick match with Grim Reaper. I'll tell you that.
That he did.
He had a really good match with Reefer.
Mm-hmm.
So much to the fact that when we were at the FTW show this last week, it was the first time I had seen him and Reefer in the same spot at once. Mm-hmm. And Reefer was coming around saying hello to everybody. Looked at Ricky, gave him that handshake, and I give him like that little pat on the chest, like, "Yo, what's up, bro? How you been?"
Yeah.
And everybody else was just, "Hey, how's it going?"
Mm-hmm.
So I know Reefer likes Ricky, little mini Danbury.
Yep.
Right, that's what Reefer calls him. He's nodding in the background. You can't see it because this is an audio show and not a visual
and you don't
show.
want to see his nodding dumbass face anyway.
No, Ricky's wearing these stupid looking glasses right now. They're really retarded looking.
Hey, it's me, Ricky. I'm four-eyed. Leave a message.
Leave a message. Wait. All right. Well, we're on the subject of Ricky being our special guest for this episode of the JackAsh podcast. Once again, we renamed it to the JackAsh podcast. This is episode 2, if you count the first podcast that we did that wasn't under this name, but whatever. I'll just go back and revisionist history. I'll rename it on YouTube.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if you went up to JR and you said you have to be in Ring of Honor to be a good wrestler. You know what he'd say?
That's probably true. That is really true. To be quite honest with you right now, I'm kind of wishing before we did this podcast that we had stopped at McDonald's so I can rub it in yours and Ricky's face that you can't eat this. Do you want to know why?
Why?
I'm hungry!
And we're on the topic of special guests, and I'm wondering if you could pick 3 guys that would be on episodes 3, 4, and 5, not Star Wars, of the podcast, because we don't want Watto involved in our podcast.
Actually, I'd let Money on here.
I would let him if he wanted to. If he wanted to be on the podcast, he can scream it to me at the next SWA show when he's paying $20 for the ticket, and I'm there wrestling. So he's paying that to watch me wrestle. If he wants to, he could just scream it at me at the next show, because I know he's probably listening to this one, he wants to be on the podcast, and we will arrange a date where he can call in, and I'll put him on the phone.
Explain himself and why he just fucking upped and left us when we were trying to help him out at first.
Yep. I was never nothing nice to the guy until he started fucking talking shit behind my back, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not that type of guy who's just going to let somebody talk shit behind his back.
And you're not going to talk shit about him, and get away with it, especially my part.
Exactly. So if you could pick 3 guys to be on the next 3 episodes of the podcast, it would be.
Well, I know one guy that wants to be on, and I think he's actually hysterical, and I have great chemistry with, especially on the Ace Radio show, is Chris Caden. Okay. I think Chris Caden is very underrated with his reactions, because every time you say something, he goes, he makes this fucking noise, and it's just funnier every time.
Or he does that little half stutter, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh shit, I better fucking turn my speakers down,
Yeah. Okay, who else?
Definitely him.
And I'll try to name 3 of my own that aren't yours.
I'd like to have Bruno Marciano. He's been out of the business for a little while, but he's coming back to it, and he's just outstanding. He's been in the business for a long time, has a lot of good stories, and I'm just friends with him. And lastly, I don't know who I'd like to have on lastly.
Not Bobby Lashley.
No, not Bobby
See
Lashley.
what I almost did right there? Didn't wrestle at Ring of Honor.
No,
doesn't
didn't.
like
But I'm going to stick with people that we actually know, because I'm not going to go Kurt
Yeah.
Angle, because I'm not an asshole.
Because you're Mark. Okay.
Yeah, no, I am Mark for Angle. I'll admit that. Last, you know who I would go with? I'd like to have Tiny Johnson, because he's fucking hysterical.
All right.
Movement's close second.
So your 3 are Caden, Bruno, Tiny Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My 3, trying to think about it, because Caden would have been on my list too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get Joey Ace on.
Oh yeah,
Joey would be fun to listen to.
I forgot about him. Sorry,
I like Joey. I'd actually like to get Johnny Malloy on, just so we can have a disagreement that's being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear.
Yeah, they fucking.
So the guys at TRU Wrestling can actually hear how me and him don't always 100% agree on things, and we find compromises. I think that would be cool. But not only that, but I also value Malloy's opinion. So I think he'd be interesting, and I know he doesn't always agree with you. Kind of like me and you don't always agree. It's just like this triangle butt fucking of disagreement going on.
So I'll always throw my 2 cents in. I mean, they make final decisions, but if I feel something strongly, I'll throw it in there.
I'm trying to think, who would I want to be the third?
You know what? You know who would be good? Mike Morgan.
Morgan would be good.
Yeah, because Morgan's been in the business for so long.
Morgan would be good.
And he's got good stories about really good stuff backstage.
Morgan would be good, but I think I would just shut the fuck up for the entire hour.
Yeah, I just want to hear what the fuck he has to say.
Yeah. I'd be like, listen, Mike, you got an hour, go. And I would just be sitting here like Ricky is right now, nodding his head. I don't know who the third one would be. Trying to think. I mean, Little T would be great, but I don't think it would have anything to do with wrestling. It would just be about like,
philosophical. You know who
philosophical.
Someone who's been in the indies for a really long time and really understands it. Fucking Danny Moff.
Dan Moff would be good.
He'd be great.
That wouldn't be bad. I would like to get. I like Joey B too.
Oh, Joey B. Yeah, I'd love to see what he'd actually have to say.
Yeah, I like Joey B.
Mm-hmm.
I only talked to him a couple times, met him that one time, but I like Joey B. So yeah, I go with Joey B.
Okay.
As my third.
That's good options right there.
And you talk highly of him, so.
Yeah, Joey B. This thing about Joey B, whether you dislike him or you do like him, the one thing you can never say bad about Joey B is he will say whatever he feels he has to say. He doesn't,
No bullshit with that guy.
He's not bullshitting you. He'll fucking come out and say it. And there's a lot of people in the world who don't like people like that, but you have to respect the fact he'll actually do it.
Yeah.
I personally, I have no problem. I fucking work for him. I have no problem with Joey B.
So there you go, straight from the horse's mouth. All right. So what do you think? You want to bring on Ricky right now? And
I guess so.
And go from there. So let's see if we can get the mic situated as we get ready to bring on.
Fuck isn't relevant right now. What is relevant is.
So we are now joined as Gallow gets his mic set up.
I'm doing it.
Come on, Gallow. Get on this gravy train. Stop it. We're gonna bring in Ricky Richards. He's the 1% of professional wrestling. He is also the luckiest man in professional wrestling.
He jerks off every time he hears the name Smart Mark.
Yes, he jerks off to that. He's actually copyrighted the term. No, I'm not gonna even say. But yeah, so if Kevin Steen is out there listening, Ricky loves you, and he would love to meet you one day.
He blows loads to your matches.
And name some other ROH guys, and Ricky would be like, "Oh, I can't wait!" And you're gonna see Ricky talks like this. Yeah, so Ricky, welcome to the JackAsh podcast. Why don't you greet everybody and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh boy, wow, that was hell of an introduction there.
That it was.
Hell of an introduction. Well, I'm Ricky Richards, and I'm from Comac, New York, now residing in Deer Park.
There we go.
I'm a gentleman, an absolute gentleman.
That he is, I guess.
A gentleman, as far as how so? Like with the ladies or with the guys?
Is your cock gentle?
I've been told that my cock is very gentle,
No, it's not good.
but sometimes it drops like a hammer.
There we go.
So
Bringing the hammer down like Big Schnoz Triple H.
So
exactly.
so his cock is gentle, just like his elbow strikes.
Yes,
Oh.
my elbow strikes are very weak. Someone needs to teach me how to do them properly.
We'll go over it tomorrow.
All right, we'll go over it. Monday Night Raw, we get beat up.
Why don't you tell? That's a good way to start. Why don't you tell them about what we do every Monday when we watch Raw?
Well, every Monday night, I have these two jokers over my place. They get mad at me because I go to the gym and I miss the first hour of Raw.
Go earlier.
Man, I can't.
Just keep going.
All right, so they get mad at me because I missed the first hour, and I'm not a real wrestling fan because it's not Ring of Honor. And then, so I get back, whatever, we watch Raw, enjoy it, and then I get beat up for the next 3 to 4 hours by Jack Gallow. He puts me in all sorts of strange submission holds that I have to try and figure out how to get out, and he practices karate moves and punches me in the kidney. It's the worst.
Aki-jitsu.
Whatever it is, it hurts.
It does hurt.
It sucks.
I'm like a Stu Hart to you.
You
Yeah,
really
come
are.
here. Let me see that arm of yours for a second. Try to get out. Fuck! Get off!
That is what it sounds. There's videos. There's
There are
videos.
up. If anyone is interested, you can hit us up. We do have videos, and we will gladly show you.
We'll sell them to you
And we will.
for a small fee.
A small fee. So is this like $5 wrestling over here, Ricky?
I mean, that's usually what my matches are like. $5 wrestling.
Jesus.
Fright train.
Fright train.
Fright train.
Vince McMahon, you don't know what I can do in that ring, sir. The $5 wrestling will be successful.
Mama, how am I gonna get my belt back, Mom?
So Ricky,
There's more
this
bad
is
wrestling
the
than good.
time of the show where me and Gallo are going to spit rapid fire questions, whatever pops into our head, whether it's wrestling or not wrestling related, and we're going to simply ask you questions where you have to give us as fast a answer as possible. We're going to call this the lightning round.
Lightning round.
We'll
Lightning
see how
strike,
this works
Cypress
out.
Hill.
We'll see how this works out, and if we like the segment, maybe we'll keep it on. But you're basically our guinea pig, kind of like when we want to do a shoot hold, and we're like, oh shit, who can we use to put the shoot hold to see if it actually hurts?
Making up moves after Raw every night.
That's what we do.
Yes, we Derek Phoenix him. Derek is one of our friends that used to wrestle, and Derek's style was he's going to take a very simplistic move, and he's going to put his leg or his arm somewhere completely where it shouldn't be, and make it look completely different, and yet it looks always sick no matter what he does. Yeah. So we do that to Ricky after Monday Night Raw every Monday.
Or during the commercial.
Yeah, or during the commercial break on Monday Night Raw every Wednesday, and we go from there. So Ricky, my first question in the lightning round is: who is your favorite opponent to work with the ring?
My favorite opponent to work with in the ring. Gallow's probably up there.
Yes.
As number one. Caden was also really good.
Caden.
And of course you. We also have
You guys
some
have
history.
Yeah.
And Gallo, it's your turn. Ask me a question.
Who is your favorite WWE superstar of all time?
WWE superstar of all.
He doesn't have any. They didn't work ROH.
Anybody who didn't work ROH is out of the question.
But for real, pick one.
Shawn Michaels.
Okay, great.
Why Shawn Michaels?
He was just fucking awesome. There's no way around it. He was like, I idolized him as a kid.
I mean, he was. I mean, like I praise Shawn Michaels so much for just the way he was able to change and stay on top of things.
Gallo, who's your favorite WWE superstar of all time?
Kurt Angle.
Kurt
obviously.
Angle?
But I mean, okay, greatest. It's a tie between him and Undertaker. Shawn is like right below.
Ricky, favorite ROH worker?
ROH. Oh fuck.
Oh, we're hitting you with the banging questions here.
Just so everyone knows, I do love Ring of Honor. I just like busting his balls about
This is a tough one.
That is really hard.
I honestly I'm not too familiar with their current product right now.
Wow.
Jay Lethal is actually
Jay
fucking
Lethal's
phenomenal.
fantastic. Yeah.
Phenomenal. If I had to pick one guy in ROH right now, I'd probably pick Lethal.
I mean, deserves it. He's fucking really great. I mean, had some of my best matches with him. I can't say enough good things about Jay.
Gallo, your turn to ask Ricky a lightning round question.
Okay. Is the Paparazzi Productions Championship Series your favorite wrestling segment of all time?
Absolutely. I don't see how there's any other wrestling segment that comes close.
I actually agree. I think that is the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life in wrestling. Because Kevin Nash and a bunch of cruiserweights or X Division guys equals greatness.
I was listening to Lethal talk about it, and he was saying how there was no script, and that's why it was so good. It was just they just went by Nash's lead. There was no script, so Bob Backlund authorized. Just kind of it just happened.
Hey, Bob Backlund says it's fair.
All right, Ricky. Your favorite match of all time that you've been a part of?
That I've been a part of? Oh fuck. You know what? Me and Caden at TRU. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
I thought that match sucked. No, I'm just kidding. That was a good solid
Yeah.
match. And you gotta admit the baby powder idea was
That
brilliant.
was great. Yeah.
It was brilliant.
There's a lot of good. Okay. I'm gonna let you. Okay. Why don't you explain to us what your gimmick is?
The gimmick is just that I get lucky, and I don't think that it's luck. I think that it's 100% me being the best.
Yeah.
And like just random things happen.
Mhm.
Like, oh, ref gets hit with a chair, and the other guy gets disqualified, but the bell rings as I'm tapping out to a submission hold.
Right.
I win. It's disqualification,
Even though you're about to lose.
even though I technically tapped out.
Like the way I presented it to Ricky was I thought of it like I wanted him to act kind of like The Rock did in 03 when he was like Hollywood, or like Christian in 05, just really over super confident. But the thing about those guys is they had qualities to them that you believe, okay, this guy really should think he's the shit some way. But Ricky's the guy who should have no justification to why he believes he's so fucking great. But then he gets lucky for absolutely no reason, has nothing to do with anything under his control, and yet he wins.
I'm fat, I'm flabby, I'm out of shape, I get blown up easy, and I
Well, you're
have
working on
no business to be in a wrestling ring, but I win all the
Yeah.
time.
Is it safe to say that your gimmick is really just this average dude who keeps getting lucky, and I hate him because I could do this if I was this guy because he's just average?
Exactly. I mean, I want to stay away from the average thing because isn't that Dan Barry's gimmick? He does the remarkably average.
Oh, I honestly I don't. I'm not too familiar.
I think he does. I think he might have done that earlier. I don't know if he.
This is
I,
what-
I don't want to say if he does it.
This is what I've
Oh,
noticed
then he
about
does.
Gallow.
Okay. I'm
This is
sorry.
what I've noticed about Gallow. Maybe you really are mini Dan Barry.
I might be.
Maybe Reaper's right.
Yeah, I think
Right.
Reaper's right. You just are Dan Barry's like clone.
Here's what I noticed about Gallow.
Yeah.
Gallow either is really loud on the mic or really soft spoken on the mic, and there's like never a balance with
There will
him.
never be a balance. I don't have an inside or outside voice.
So if you're listening to this, we want to apologize on behalf of Gallow for either blowing your eardrums out or making you crank up the volume because he's very soft spoken and then blowing your eardrums out.
Well, ask Chris Caden. Every time I call into the Ace Radio show, that motherfucker says he has to turn everything down.
Ricky, do you know the story of speaking of eardrums being blown out of when not Tiny Johnson, Tiny Lee Antonio, blew out Slayer's eardrum from a bitch slap?
No, I do not know about this, and I would like to hear it.
Gallo, do you know the story?
Not really, but go ahead.
Not really.
I just know what happened.
So we're gonna try to get Ricky's reaction to this, and we need
my bad,
yeah, it's all right. Gallo likes to hog the microphone, not share with Ricky, so I've been sharing it the entire
Fuck
time. So
Please.
they're working a match, and you know how Tiny would put you into the corner, and then he would box you up because his whole character was based on that. So he's boxing him up, and he ends it with a slap to the face. So he's doing this, and he gets to the slap in the face part with Steve, and hits him so hard, broke Slayer's fucking eardrum. Breaks his fucking eardrum. And I was kind of hoping that maybe he could do that to you one day.
Listen,
Back in the ring.
I'll do it, man. I got no problem taking that.
I honestly want to say this, though. Your next match at TRU, if we get to do the idea that we were thinking of, is going to be priceless. It's actually... Was it your idea who came up with the whole slip? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be absolutely priceless, and I can't wait for it. And originally it was supposed to be you and Little T, but now we're saying it might be Ricky and a returning Derek Phoenix to the indie scene, which I'm amped
shit.
about. For those of you who don't know, Ricky currently resides in an apartment with two of our very close friends, Derek and Fatty, who were both previously workers. Derek wrestled under the name Derek Phoenix. Fatty wrestled under the name Deadpool, but we say because of because he's a fucking Marvel fucking mark. But we have a great idea if Fatty ever decides wants to get his ass back inside the ring, what we're going to call him, which is going to be brilliant. But yes, now we're saying that it might actually be Derek Phoenix that's going to with Ricky during this match. Are you looking forward to that?
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Knowing what's going to happen, are you still looking forward to it? Is that's your first match with Derek?
Yeah.
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 Is it memorable enough for you?
It's gonna be memorable. It's gonna be
Sweet.
fun.
So
I'm gonna enjoy it.
we kind of just ended the lightning round without actually saying it. So I'm just going to ask one final question that's going to count for the lightning round, and I really want to get Ricky's legit, honest reaction to this. Ricky, why do you have a lisp?
Why do I have a lisp?
Yeah.
Man, I have no idea, to be honest.
Why don't you fix it?
I don't know how.
Can you fix a lisp?
You can.
Yes, you can.
You can. How?
Fix it now.
I've googled it and I've looked into it, and it just appeared one day, and I have no idea how.
I'll tell you this. I've known Ricky. When did I meet you? 2009. So 3 years now, something like that. And I legit never realized he had a lisp until like last summer when he mentioned to me. He was like, "I have a lisp," and I'm like, "No, you don't." And he was like, "Yeah." And then he started talking, and I'm like, "Holy fucking shit, he really does."
And because that was about the time that I noticed it too. I was like, it was like a month before. I was like, shit, I have a fucking lisp. Where did this come from?
Yeah, it's kind of incredible, to be honest.
And I can't do anything about it.
So if I give you a piece of paper for you to read, would you just read it?
I don't know how to read.
You really don't know how to read?
No, I know how to read.
All right, well,
I just read it like at like a.
I'm gonna give you a piece of
second grader's
paper.
level.
I'm gonna give you a piece of paper, and I want you just to read it.
This is gonna suck.
This is gonna be brilliant.
May I have your attention? Shut up! Just read it!
So here we go. I'm gonna find a piece of paper. Let's see what we have over here. It might be actually you might be in for a store because if I am not mistaken, this is my old college textbook that I used
Puss goes to college.
as for my creative
College is
writing
real.
class.
Wrestling.
So this might be some
Wrestling's
random
very
thoughts that I wrote
Sorry,
down
aliens.
on.
We will get into ancient aliens later. I am a huge ancient alien theorist.
Oh Jesus Christ, we're not going there on the podcast.
Oh, we're going
this
there.
is still
We're
50%
going
my
there.
podcast.
Yeah, 50%. You're dead.
And
What does that even mean?
I don't
who
care.
knows?
What it means is that Sumerians said, like every other culture, that there has been ancient alien life here that created us, and that is what
God.
actually happened.
It's happening on my
Look
podcast.
up Balbec.
Okay, so Ricky, I'm going to ask you to read all the highlighted stuff and just read it to the best of your ability. If you can't read a word, just make up a word. I don't really give a shit. I just want to hear the lisp and go. Go.
If all men are mortal and Socrates is a man, then Socrates is immortal. Well, duh.
Keep going.
I thought the class was called critical thinking, not elementary logic.
Yep, keep going.
3 full hours on the aforementioned statement is ridiculous. I feel as if my IQ dropped 20 points from listening to him just ramble on about categoric. What the fuck?
Symbolism.
Read, man.
Okay, keep going.
See, I don't read, man.
Gallow got a phone call and he's walking away because he's too cool for this.
Getting his dip.
Okay, continue.
If someone couldn't figure out that statement, they really don't belong in college. Life owes them a refund.
Hashtag true story. So, I honestly, I still don't think your lisp is that bad.
You know what? It's not, and it gets worse. Like as time goes on.
Really. Now, do you want to tell me why you hate black people?
I mean, they have big noses, and
This goes out to you, B Money.
B Money and CeeLo Mac. Is that their name still?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, they steal, they lie, they cheat. They're like Mexicans but worse.
Oh shit.
Now, speaking of that, I want to go into a little story of the first time Ricky decided that he was going to be hailed from South Africa. Okay, so one day we're at a show, and Ricky was in the fucking tag team at the time, and
which was thrown together like randomly.
Listen, okay,
I was supposed to
Great,
team
it
with
was random.
Steve Sage against like the Fury and the Juice, right? Yeah, Juice and the Fury. And then randomly, like Juice was in a different match, and they threw me in a team with the Fury, who's a heel, and I was a face. And I was trying to do the South African thing at the time, and it was fun.
Okay, let me explain.
This
to
was
you.
MVW?
I believe it was
yeah.
MVW. Okay, so but regardless of what it was,
And
I'm
the sweet
backstage
track
and
jacket.
I know I see where Ricky's is on the card, and I'm looking around, and and I'm kind of getting my boots on, and I look up, and I just see these disgusting looking long tights. It's like these black tights with like this dark. It was like how like if you have tights with color, that's color stand out, so you stand out. These are like these dull red and green and black tights.
All of my gear is apparently disgusting.
It's fucking gold. This is really fucking gross. It looked like someone ate crayons and shit it out onto tights, and that's what he was wearing. So look up, I'm like, who's this fucking asshole wearing these tights? And I look up with Ricky with a big fucking South African flag hailed around him, like, I'm ready to go. Ring of Honor said I should wear these terrible tights. Why the fuck did you think you should be from South Africa? It makes no sense.
Listen, man. First off, South Africa is where the whites are.
I don't care about the colors of the skins.
Mad fucking racist Ricky on this program.
City driving racist Ricky.
I get city driving racist Ricky. I guess it is good that Ricky actually does like black people. His first tag team partner was a black guy named Romeo Legend.
Yeah, we saw how well that worked out.
Oh shit.
Fucking racist. Romeo blows up.
Would you say it's a fair statement that the only segregated place left in America is a tanning salon?
Wow, that was tough.
I happen to love black people. I actually have black relatives, so.
We say this as we bash black people. The only one who has not bashed black people, but I will now. You ever hear? You ever hear of? Yeah, this is fucked up. Yeah, you know how, like, when people are like, oh, white people problems? Like when people are like, oh, hashtag white people problems? I like to say first of the month, hashtag black people problems.
Oh, poor black people.
Yeah, that's kind of the irony of it. Poor black people.
You guys silly.
So yeah, let's not try to bash on a race.
No, I love.
Hello, Romeo Legend, B Money, CeeLo Mac. You know what? I don't want to hear it.
Rob Fury, I'm happy. I'm sorry you got hit by a car. I still love you.
He got hit by a car?
You didn't hear that story?
Whoa. Rob Fury, like Nick Impact tag team partner Rob Fury, got hit by a car?
This poor guy got hit by like 2 cars and like tiny.
How do you get hit by 2 cars?
I don't like. Okay, basically, I was backstage at an Ace show and I hear Tiny. If anyone doesn't know Tiny Johnson, he's the biggest ball buster you're ever gonna fucking meet.
He's the man, really.
I love Tiny, but so I hear him busting his balls and I kind of get in on the conversation. And he's like, yeah, Rob, you remember when you got hit by those 2 fucking cars? Like, what were you thinking? He starts ripping on him. And the best part of the story is apparently after he got up from getting hit by the cars, his shirt was like ripped in the front and all you saw was the bat signal on his chest.
Wow.
So it's like Batman came out of the car crash and now he's back wrestling on the indie scenes. Motherfucker, give him credit for that.
So, like I was saying, none of us hate black people except for Ricky. In fact, TRU Wrestling is an equal opportunity employer. We do have several black people on our roster, all of which I get along with. But this is my, especially Little T. This is my philosophy, though. If you're gonna bust my balls for being Jewish, I'm gonna bust your balls for being black. And
well, I just don't think you should have killed Jesus. So
yeah, I think your fucking real name is retarded.
I don't care what you. Hey,
I think you have a retarded real name.
My real name is Jack Allen.
Like your parents, literally. Had 9 months, and the best they can do is come up with that name, and that sucks.
What, Joseph?
Joseph. What a fucking
yeah. Jesus is dad.
And
I was sent to beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, listen. The fucking Romans killed Jesus. It wasn't me.
No, it was not.
I don't want to hear that
the
bullshit.
Jews like, oh, we want him dead. Give me my money and coins.
Yeah. So we made a fucking deal.
You guys can
we made a business arrangement.
You fucked up bread to make matzah. The worst cracker in the world.
First of all, we didn't fuck up bread. Okay, we didn't have anything with us that could make it rise. So we improvised, and it's delicious if you put some fucking jam on that bitch.
That's really because you guys didn't want to spend the extra coin for something.
You see what I'm saying?
Shit.
All this bullshit. So
I keep forgetting to give the mic to Ricky. So if you hear him hitting me, that's because I forgot. So
yeah, so I'm a Jew and I get it. And but funny enough, the stereotype about Jews being unathletic and everything like that, I'm still a better athlete than Ricky is. And and
Goldberg is
Ricky goes to the gym every day, especially at like 9 o'clock on Mondays.
Right when Raw starts.
Right when Raw starts, because he doesn't. Yeah. And he tries to get in shape. And my regimen is donuts, and I'm still in better shape than Ricky is. Some people are just naturally gifted with a fine physique. I just need to gain 20 pounds of muscle. You just need to lose 40 pounds of fat.
Yeah, I mean, and I've lost some weight.
Yeah.
Ricky has lost weight. I give him
up a little bit.
And
give him credit for that.
And Ricky will put it back on. You want to know why, Gallow?
Why?
Because I saw Ricky eating Taco Bell the other night and didn't want to say anything.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Dude, he looks like a...
He was eating one of those Dorito tacos.
Oh, you are so fucked tomorrow night.
Those are made with the red Doritos. I don't eat the red Doritos.
Oh, shit. He's fucked.
Yeah,
I don't believe you.
He does. See? Gallo knows that I would never bullshit
You
him.
want to check my bank account?
How's he gonna check your bank account?
I don't know how you didn't pay.
Why? You have cash that you can use to buy and purchase Taco Bell.
I don't carry cash home.
You're such a bull. You don't even have $10 worth of cash.
I don't have cash.
See?
Oh,
See?
Oh,
See, now he's being caught in his
today.
own lie. He's being caught.
Judge Judy would rip you the fuck apart.
Fuck, bro. Yeah, you want to go down that route? I will tell Gallo all the fabricated stories I want to tell Gallo about how you eat fucking Taco Bell and watch his reaction.
But what I will do now, because I forgot to do it before, is we're going to call Ricky's phone, and we're going to hear his lovely voicemail that you hear every time you call Ring of Honor number 234.
Yeah, so let's.
Honor number 234.
I'm surprised his phone number isn't like Ring of Honor
It is
spelled
ringing.
out.
It actually is.
Ricky.
Shut up.
Gallo.
I don't like blackberries. No, black people are cool.
Wow, this has gone to become like the most racist podcast in the history. Shh.
It's gonna happen any minute now. It's like Jericho's entrance.
It's Ricky. I'm not here right now. So, leave a message. Alright, man.
At the tone,
What the
please
fuck?
record your message.
Alright.
Recording your
See, we weren't bullshitting. Weren't bullshitting. His message actually legitimately sounds like that. So yeah, we got about I don't know, 15 minutes left in the podcast or whatnot. What do you want to talk about? How do you want to fuck with Ricky some more?
I don't know. There's a lot of ways to fuck with Ricky.
There
Let's
is.
talk about. Okay, I have this idea,
Okay.
and this is. I want to have a vote to the audience out there that listens to this show. We
All
eventually
12 of you?
we want to bring in. We
Including
want to
money.
bring in somebody to have a match with Ricky that's known to be stiff as fuck and beat the shit out of people, and we're going to secretly tell them that Ricky really has a shoot problem with them. Now,
Wait,
I didn't say that.
what?
now, these are the options we have. There's been the idea brought up of bringing in Viscera.
Oh.
We had one more, but
Finley.
Finley, and then my personal favorite is Hardcore Bob Holly.
My pick would be Finley.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, Finley, I know, I've seen how Finley trains. Like, I saw part of his video. He just looks snug. He doesn't really hurt you. I want someone that's really gonna, beat the fuck out. Well, I mean, no, I want Finley he hurts, but Bob Holly, however, will really just hit you as hard as he can and fuck you up.
Here's my thought process. Does it really matter which guy we tell, to come in or book to come in and fuck Ricky up? If we're telling them, listen, this guy was talking mad shit about you. And he's pretty popular online. He runs a podcast called the JackAsh podcast, and he's out there and he fucking hates you, bro. And he bashes the fuck out of you. So we kind of booked you in a weird way so that you can get your shots in. Plus, we're business people and we figured everybody's gonna know like this guy bashes on you, and we're gonna book you two in a ring together. We're gonna get to some of those indie marks that really shell out. If they didn't even come to our show normally, they're gonna come now. Does it really matter who we get? As if we're just telling this whole fucking lie to these people to fuck Ricky up?
You know what? I this is why I want it to be Hardcore Holly, because what I think is if we're going to Hardcore, like, listen, man, I respect the hell out of you, but the kid you're working tonight always calls you Job Corps and says that he's happy.
Wow.
He's happy that you sandbagged Lesnar because he wanted your neck to be broken. I just thought you should maybe know that.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
By the way, if anyone hasn't seen the kayfabe commentaries,
Oh my God.
Hardcore Holly, you shoot. The things that people said to this man was some of the funniest shit I've ever said.
Were you offended by the homosexual overtones in your program with Cody Rhodes?
Hey, Job Corps Holly. How did it feel to get jobbed on your neck when you sandbagged Lesnar?
Are we saying that Ricky was the one that said those?
That
things
was
to him?
Ricky. I know for a fact. Hey, Hardcore. Ricky's
Hardcore.
the one who said that to you. It was
Hardcore,
Rick-
I love you to death. Don't kill me, please. Don't kill me.
He's just trying to cover up his tracks right now.
Yeah.
Ricky also told me though that in a legit wrestling match he could beat Kurt Angle.
Oh shit.
I also said that I could out-squat Bryan Danielson.
Oh.
Daniel Bryan. Whatever his slave name.
But you cannot sneeze with your
Wow,
eyes.
called it his slave name. I'm assuming his slave name is Daniel Bryan, because okay.
Oh yeah.
Because Ricky's like, I can't believe they changed his name.
Can't believe it, bro. I can't believe
I still don't know why they didn't call him Daniel Bryanson. I just think that sounds 1,000 times better than Daniel Bryan. That's just me.
I don't understand how they technically changed his name on NXT and then changed it back when he came back. He did a promo about how he wasn't Daniel Bryan anymore and he was Bryan Danielson, and then came back the next week.
Because Vince,
Daniel Bryan.
Because Vince is like, I changed my mind. I'm gonna puke, and he fucking changed it back.
I'm gonna puke.
And apparently Vince was eating the alphabet soup, and when he puked it out, it came out to Daniel Bryan again. And he's like, well, this must be an omen.
And then Wade Barrett came in.
My name is Wade Barrett. I cannot pronounce my T's properly, but I will rule the Nexus without Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I've heard you do better Wade Barrett impersonations, though. That was kind of weak.
My name is Wade
There
Barrett.
we go. Yeah.
Now this time I'm gonna speak more properly like Wade Barrett would.
That's much
I
better.
don't like you, Randy Orton, but what I do like is jerking my cock.
Nice.
Don't
So
know why I said that.
Gallow is taking shots at employees of a promotion that he would like to work for one day. Ricky
I
is
actually like
taking
Wade
shots at Hardcore Holly. And they're legit. You have to see what he's got a Bob Holly, dartboard.
Yeah, and he constantly
What?
throws
Darts in the bullseye, which is really Bob Holly's balls.
and claims that he doesn't have them, so it doesn't hurt anyway.
Yeah.
It's true. I do actually have that hanging in my room.
You hear that, Bob?
Ricky, what was your first impression of coming into my room today? What was the first thing you noticed?
I noticed the classic WWF ring and action figures and proceeded to play with them.
Did you notice the action figures that I do have? Which were your favorite?
Psycho Sid, man.
Oh, this is a good segue. Gallow.
Yo.
Why don't you tell us what happened at the recent PWS show?
Well, this was fucked up. Okay, so basically, runs it as Eric Tap
You're
out. Now
welcome.
Pat Buck is on along with him. But Sid Vicious had previously been tried to book for the show through Tap Out twice before, and he went out of his way, got arrangements made, planes, set to come to wherever they're going, and a driver, and Sid, no showed. This was the third show. That he booked him for. Everything was going smoothly. He had the plane, the 2 flights made so we can get there. Had a driver picking him up. Everything is good until the day of show. Can't get in touch with Sid. Can't get in touch with Sid. Sid calls him finally and goes, "Hey man, I just want to let you know I'm at a deli right now and someone stole my wallet. I won't be able to make it." So this was their final straw. They came out in the beginning of the show, told everyone they're sorry that Sid wouldn't be there, offered refunds. That was honorable of them. And then got so pissed that they not only called Sid and let all the fans boo onto his voicemail, they gave out his phone number to the entire audience.
So if any of those 800 plus people know Money's phone number, please let us know. I reiterate, send us a Facebook message, tweet it, something, and we'll call him from a safe, secure line.
Use the hashtag fuck money. Hashtag fuck money.
Hashtag fuck money. Fuck money. You guys remember when him and Buddy were going to be a tag team? What were we going to call them? Buddy Money? Something like that?
Yeah?
Something stupid?
Yeah. Double
like that.
Money?
I can't quite remember. It was stupid. You want to know why it was stupid? Because Money came up with the tag team name, and he's an idiot.
Well, anyway, what I want to say to all those 800 people out there is, when you do call Sid, make sure you let him know that Ricky always talks shit about Sid Vicious and says that he wishes he could break his other leg similarly to what he did in WCW, and that he wants him more than anything to come to TRU and have a match so he can beat the fuck out of his 6'9" ass.
To be fair, he would just no show. So
I think Ashley and Johnny Malloy are gonna have a nice little call to Sid Vicious and see.
Well, now that I have his number, yeah,
Everyone
I think I'm gonna give him a buzz.
texting him right now, actually.
Nice. Will you text Money for me and tell him that we'd like to get him on as a special guest on the future podcast? But I don't want to do it just yet. I want to keep building on this whole Money's a fucking asshole thing, so that all 12 of our members of our audience that actually listen to
we're gonna expand it.
the podcast can really find out who this guy is. So when he actually does summon up the courage, because I'd say grow some balls, but that'll never happen. When he actually summons up the courage and is willing to call us from his house. And the safety of his own house, because he would never actually show up and do the podcast live with us out of fear for his own life. It'd be great to get a perspective of the guy when people actually know him.
Yeah, we're actually working on Where's Money T-shirts that we're gonna put on sale online, and if Money decides to step up and come on the show, maybe we'll cut him in on profit. Who knows?
Yeah, and it'll probably be profitable too, because we know a lot of people. I can tell you right now, at least 30 people who want the shirt, and we haven't even mentioned it really outside of our own little circle. And all these people were talking about buying shirts and wanting to get more made, coming up with the graphic designs.
I really
It'd be
need to get
great.
a shirt too.
It would be great to get money on this podcast.
And make money off money.
Because I honestly think he's a decent human being. And yeah, that's really what I think. So Ricky, did you like being on the podcast?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was a very fun time. Love to do it again sometime.
We will.
We will. Ring of Honor. All right.
Ring of Honor. All
Right.
right.
This Ricky, I can't get you tell me I like sandwiches and eat Taco Bell. True story though. Let's finish this off. Hashtag true story. So we're definitely, Gallow, what do you think? We're going to definitely do special guests from now on the podcast.
Yeah, I really like the special guest idea. I think it's more fun. We had a lot of news, entertaining. We're just talking about ourselves the whole entire time.
Yeah, in case you didn't hear that, because Gallow had the mic like 20 feet away from his mouth
Yeah, well,
when
I'm
he
just
said
fucking,
that. We're going to do more special guests. Maybe we'll bring Ricky back. I think we have a lot of ground to cover when it comes to Ricky. A lot of things we can go down, different avenues on how we can make fun of Ricky some more.
Yeah, so make sure he doesn't leave.
Thoroughly exciting. Leaves.
Don't put leaves anywhere near Ricky. You might get burned.
We have about
literally.
4 minutes. Do you want to try to tell the story real quick?
You gotta tell the story.
Okay, so
hog the mic.
Ricky was at at the apartment that he was now. This is the first time he lived there with Derek and Cody, I believe at the time, right?
Yes.
So Derek, Cody, me and Little T decide, let's put it's the fall time. Let's put leaves everywhere in Ricky's room. Like,
and I got a text message that day from this guy who's like, "Yo, where are you right now?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm at work and whatever." And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So we knew we had time. So we just so we grabbed all these leaves and we put them everywhere in his room, in his closet, in his drawers, in his pillowcase, underneath his blanket, like in his mattress,
on the
everywhere.
Windowsill.
On the windowsill, on his keyboard, everywhere. I mean, this guy was gonna discover leaves for weeks.
My pillows were out of the cases in the closet, and they filled my pillowcases with leaves.
And then hid them with leaves. So Ricky comes home, and needless to say, he is fucking pissed.
All I wanted to do was lay down. After my day, I just wanted to lay down and take a nap.
And so he's fucking furious, right? And then Ricky, I don't know, he had a mental breakdown or something, decides, I'm going to throw all these leaves out of this fucking room. And keep in mind, these leaves stayed in the hallways for months because nobody wanted to clean them up. So he decides, I'm going to throw these leaves out of the room and I'm going to fucking light them on fire. Now, meanwhile, upstairs of the place that they rent, is a family with their 3 young children. And Ricky's about to set the whole fucking place on fire because he's a scumbag.
Now, to be fair, the fire was it was an empty threat that was supposed to get Derek and Cody to help clean up. And
then Ricky legitimately puts the flame like a few inches away from the leaves.
Yeah, I had it under control.
Yeah.
I wasn't drunk.
So
like
I'm like, yo, fucking Ricky, don't do this shit. Yada yada. I'm trying to stop him. Derek finds out what he's doing. Derek comes over, pushes Ricky. These two are about to fucking brawl in the living room. Long story short, Ricky moves out the next day just to move back in a year later.
Yep.
And that's where they are now.
And now Ricky's more fun, and he likes to have fun jokes.
So if we ever say anything about Ricky leaving or, leave it alone or anything like that, now you know why. Because Ricky apparently is a fan of leaves.
He likes to
and
make a tree.
It would be great at the next TRU show if
everyone brings a leaf.
Everybody brings one leaf to hand to Ricky, and he will autograph it for you. So at the next TRU Wrestling show, Ricky will, for a small fee, autograph your leaf if you bring it to the show, which is why I'm going to bring the ex-football player Ryan Leaf to the show, and I'm going to have him sign his ass because Ricky likes men. Hashtag homosexual actions. So, so I think we're done with the podcast here. I want to take this chance. We got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left, so I want to take this chance to thank Ricky for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
And abusing you. Hashtag Ricky gets abused. We still have so much to cover as to why we call him City Driving Ricky, so we're definitely going to have to bring him on for a second special guest appearance on the podcast. So we're definitely going to do that again. And what do you think? We said we were going to do one every month, but that was from
I
October.
think we should do him more.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this one. I like the special guest a lot better. Instead of me and you just rambling on about nothing.
Yeah.
So
Do that.
we'll do that and
Plug in. Check out Ace Pro Wrestling. Check out Warriors of Wrestling. Check out Federated Wrestling. Check out Fighting Spirit Wrestling. Your Pro Wrestling. Where the fuck
True Wrestling.
True Wrestling. The
SWA, Suffolk Wrestling Alliance, Middle Village Wrestling, if they're ever deciding to do a show again. And
if you live in Connecticut, I'm going to be wrestling there April 13th. I'm going with Mike Magnum. I'll have a good road story there.
yeah, that'd be good. So hopefully we'll be back in April with another podcast.
I love Mickey James's ass.
If we're not back, you fuckers will just have to wait and enjoy. And if you see money, punch him in the face.
And more girls in pro wrestling should have big butts. If you want to get in and you have a big butt, call me.
Yeah, punch money in the face because he's a bitch and you won't do anything about it. Peace out, bitches.
Wrestling fun, real.